Hello, everybody. I was gonna do the intro, then I was like, let me just come on. What's up, you know? Hey, we are Cody's voice. Seven people. All right, that's cool. I could rock with that. I could rock with one person. I could rock with two people. Shit. All right, y'all. There's a few lovelies on this thumbnail, as we see. Hey, Katie. There's a few lovelies on this thumbnail. One case is new to us. I just got that a few days ago from the gentleman that was the activist that was on here. He asked me to cover that, so I'm going to cover this. Just a reminder, tomorrow I am doing part 2 of Timmy D. Barbara's interview uh, with her son, Timmy D. So please join at 7 o'clock. We will be listening to a few recordings and things like that. But I asked Barbara to come up here and we could, do a part 2 of the interview. Okay. We want to spread Timmy D's name as much as we can. There's so many cases that I'm doing. I know that, but I try to spread the love as much as I can all around. I don't, you know what I mean? Like each child, you know? Okay. So let's get right into this. If you're new, welcome. If you've been rocking with me from day one, welcome. Thank you. I appreciate all of you that's been here. New, old, I appreciate you. My mods, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every one of you because you are here to support the victims and their family. So please share this video, give it a thumbs up, give it a like, hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss when I'm dropping another video, especially the times, because sometimes I change the times and that notification bell will let you know. So let's get right into the video. Now, some amazing things came out, right? Out of these two beautiful young little girls, we got justice, but it's still very tragic and it's still very sad. So let's just go back a little bit from when they went missing into what happened recently. For those that don't really know what's going on. Let me just get my somebody said I don't know who this Chinese person is. Okay. Um Audrey. Give me a minute. Did I put okay. Oh no, what am I doing? Shit too, child. Okay, so I want to go back a little when she first went missing. Hmm. No, that's not. Okay, we could play it by here. Okay, that's fine.
Developments in the search for 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham, reported missing last week north of Houston.
There's not words for it.
Authorities have arrested 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal on a separate assault charge, saying he's a person of interest in the search for Audrey. They say he's the roommate of Audrey's father and has an extensive criminal history, including a conviction for enticing a minor in 2008.
We are hopeful that we can bring Audrey home alive, and that's what we are absolutely working for right now. But based on the evidence that we've got, we understand that foul play is a factor as well.
Audrey's mother says her daughter was last seen around 7 a.m. last Thursday when she was supposed to catch her school bus, not far from the home she shares with her father.
She was allegedly dropped off at her bus stop. And later on, we come to learn that she never even made it on the bus.
Police are now searching for this 2003 blue Chevy Suburban, saying it belongs to McDougal. Investigators also found Audrey's backpack near a local dam and say other items were found, but they're not elaborating.
You're broken, you're mad, you're lost, you're empty, and right now I am empty.
Despite his prior conviction for enticing a minor, our Houston station KTRK says Don Stephen McDougal was not required to register as a sex offender. A $7,000 reward is offered for information on Audrey's whereabouts.
To me, that was the problem right there. He wasn't registered as an ex offender. Because he wasn't registered, they might have not known what kind of monster they was dealing with. So now we go to what happened this time, right? Let's go back now. Let's go.
I chose Wix for my business because of its massive scope for functionality and freedom.
Welcome in and thanks for being with us. Any moment now, investigators expected to hold a news conference on their search for 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham.
So it has been 6 days since she disappeared, and we are waiting for police to give us new information. Our Chas Miller has been following this story and is at the search there in Polk County. Chas, what have you learned so far?
Besides, he's a monster.
Myra, good afternoon. Yeah, a lot of these answers that we've been working to get today are going to come at
No,
that news
you
conference.
are absolutely right,
As soon as
Megan.
it starts, it'll involve Polk County Sheriff Byron Lyons. It'll also involve Texas DPS, who's been a part of this. All kind of agencies working on this case. I know the FBI has been involved. Everything like that. Let's go to that newser now.
Exactly, Megan. You're definitely right.
Good afternoon.
I agree.
Thank you for being here today. I want to first start by thanking the media for helping us with the coverage over Audrey, over her missing. Your help has been immensely appreciated. It has been great. I want to thank again everyone who has been engaged in the efforts to find Audrey, from the investigators to the volunteers who have spent countless hours in hopes of finding her, and to the community members who have been here supporting us since day one. I also want to say thank you to Trinity River Authority for lowering the water levels so that the divers could reach areas of interest.
Oh, that's what they did?
This time, I sadly announced that Audrey's body was located at the Trinity River on the U.S. Highway 59. As a result of today's developments, I will discontinue the Amber Alert for Audrey, and I want to thank DPS, Department of Public Safety, for all their help in this alert. The information that we have gathered in this criminal investigation is substantial. The Polk County Sheriff's Office investigators, the Livingston Police Department, and the Texas Rangers, the game wardens, the FBI, Harris County Sheriff's Office, the San Jacinto County Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office in Trinity County and Liberty County. It's just an outpouring of love from all of our law enforcement partners. My heart aches with this news, and I express with my deepest sympathies and condolences to everyone who knew, who cared for, and loved Audrey. The Sheriff's Office, we will continue to process the evidence that has been gathered to ensure that the justice for Audrey. And at this time, I will turn the podium over to the Polk County
Hey,
District
Dr.
Attorney,
RBH.
Ms. Shelley Sutton.
You can hear. You can hear his voice trembling. You can hear that he wanted to break down them tears, man. I don't blame him. This is heartbreaking. This is so sad. I'm just showing, I know we watched this when it happened, but for those that don't know what's going on, maybe, you know what I'm saying? Just a little preview of things, y'all. And then we're going to go into, okay? The visual, what the mother said, and a few allegations that I found out. But yeah, but let's continue. Hey, Dr. RBH.
My name is Shelley Sitton, and I am your Polk County District Attorney. I just want to take a few moments to explain how we're going to move forward from here. Based on all of the evidence that law enforcement has collected, they are in the process of preparing the appropriate arrest warrants for Don Stephen McDougal. At this time, we believe the appropriate arrest warrant is going to be for capital murder in the death of Audrey Cunningham. He is currently still in jail under an unrelated felony charge here. I understand that this is a very difficult time for Audrey's family and for our community. The substantial law enforcement resources that were marshaled by the Sheriff Lyons, I think should show you that this county and law enforcement, they will come out when they need to protect our children. And the assets that we have been made available to Polk County to protect our children have been substantial. And at this point, as Sheriff Lyons said, he'll continue to collect the evidence and process that. The district attorney's office is going to stand right beside them and follow through. And we promise that you can assure that the district attorney's office will be just as dedicated to this case as every one of these law enforcement officers that are standing behind you to do what is right for Audrey and bring justice to our community. Thank you. At this time, if you've got some questions, we'll open it up to a few questions.
Any indication of how Audrey was killed?
I cannot speak to that.
At this time right now, we have transported Audrey down to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office. At that time, we will await their results to be able to determine the cause and method of her death.
But evidence suggests murder.
We believe that there is enough evidence, yes.
Yes.
More than enough.
Did Don Stephen McDougal lead you to that location on the river where you found her body? Did he tell you where to find her?
That was evidence that we was collecting through the cell phone analysis, as well as through our videos that we were able to collect, and some of the information that we received from him, we were able to pinpoint and set. There were several points of interest that was turned over to us, so that we were able to develop. And thank goodness, and by the grace of God, one of those places of interest we were able to locate.
As I understand it,
what evidence links McDougal to the murder?
Evidence and right now, folks, when we start talking about how we linking evidence to McDougal and linking evidence to this case, we want to be very careful on how we do that. I would feel safe to say this is that there is substantial evidence through the evidence that we've gathered, and some of that evidence was even gathered by the wonderful witnesses and wonderful folks out there in the social media who sent us videos, who sent us pictures. Some of that, even that evidence helped us to be able to come up with these locations, as well as the evidence from cell phones and as videos to pinpoint these locations.
When you know it's a 11-year-old's body and if she was dressed?
at this point right now, until we get all our information back from the medical examiner's office,
Hello,
we
Art
don't want to
of
release any information concerning
Dedication of True
Audrey
Crime. Thank you for
condition of her body.
joining.
Sheriff, what directed you to that portion of I-59 of the
Oh, they found her body, Dr. RBH.
That area is one of the first areas of our concern points of interest when we started our search on Friday, well, midday Friday.
The
and
neighbor,
again,
well,
that's going to be
not the
developed from
neighbor,
some of the
but
evidence, and then yes, there was some points where he did give
kind of, you could say
information
neighbor.
because there were several
The
places
father's
that he
boy,
said that he had
homeboy,
went.
whatever you want to
So
call him,
it wasn't a location where he said he
unalived
took
her.
her, but
He
there
was
was
supposed
a
to drop her
incidents
off
where he
at
said these were
school, in
locations
front of the
where he
school
had gone.
bus.
Without this evidence that you
And
talked about,
yeah,
you have been able to find her where you found her.
very sad.
Without the evidence that you just described.
Yes.
You would have found her there.
We would have found her not through him, but we would have found it through the evidence that we collected from the analysis from phones and videos would have. Yes.
And he's an ex-offender also, Dr. RBH.
You used a sonar. You used a sonar boat. Texas Equity Search was out with their sonar
Family
boat,
friend, yeah.
scanning the bottom of the river for her body. They are the ones that discovered the body. Is that correct?
No.
The image.
I'm not going to say who exactly or what agency discovered her body today. I will say this, that due to the lowering, we were able to contact TRA, Trinity River Authority. They slowed down the outflow from the reservoir, and it allowed the water to go down, and her body was discovered there in the water. But I'm not going to say whether it was Harris County or Montgomery County or EquiSearch. It was a conglomeration of a lot of love and law enforcement networking together that helped discover her.
Sources have told us, though, that Stephen McDougal was the one that told you to lower the level of the river. We've been told that he actually told you to lower the water on the river. Is that true?
We talked to TRA on several occasions about lowering it when they got to the point, or they felt they were safe to start lowering the river. We were able to get them to do so. Whether or not Mr. McDougal gave us information on lowering the river or not to be able to locate her, that's information that we do not want to release at this time.
One more question. One more question.
That reporter, he sound pissed. Did he tell you that? Is it true? Like, he want to know, like, the fuck? Like, stop beating around the bush. Just tell us what we need to know. Reporters could be really savages too. You gotta watch out for their asses. They could come at you, boy. Jeez. That reporter, like, he coming at him. But I gotta say, this detective, he got patience though.
Yep. He did advise that was one of the locations that he had gone. Not that he was saying that she was there or any other location, but
And Dr.
we know that he
RBH,
went
he
there as
wasn't
well.
even registered as the ex-offender like he should have been.
Until we get all of the evidence and all the autopsy reports, we're going to have to hold and work with law enforcement to determine what is the best solution to this case.
HR leaders, Hi Bob has a smashing tool for employee engagement. Say hi to Bob.
If the evidence supports that is something that we're going to look into.
Is there any evidence she was held somewhere else, or was she killed pretty much the day that she disappeared?
We do not have any evidence at this time that's showing that where she may have been held somewhere else. But again, we are still processing mounds and mounds of information and data. Mr. Bob, last question.
Is there any evidence that there was anything used to keep the body underwater?
That is information at this time that we do not want to release.
Do you have an approximate time frame for winter body?
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all for your questions. Thank you all
have
for all
been
that you've
listening
done
to
for
this
the
news conference, and honestly, just a sad and tragic end to the situation we have been following for quite some time now. So as you just heard, the person of interest, Don Stephen McDougal, has now turned into a suspect charged with capital murder.
And Audrey's body found at the Trinity River on US Highway 59. That's the sad update this morning, this afternoon, 6 days after she went missing. No cause of death given.
Yeah, and of course, we're going to continue to
We're
follow
going to get
this.
into
But
that now,
for the
though.
meantime, let's walk you through a timeline of this case, which really has now turned into a national story. It was last Thursday morning. Audrey Cunningham did not board the school bus that afternoon. Her
Right.
family reported her missing after she didn't get off the bus after school. So that's when investigators say the family found out Audrey never got on the bus in the first place. That night, Texas DPS issues an Amber Alert. On Friday night, police take Don Stephen McDougal into custody on an unrelated aggravated assault charge. The Polk County Sheriff says McDougal is a friend of Audrey's father and he lives in a trailer behind her house. Saturday morning, investigators releasing a picture of a vehicle of the person of interest in this case. Searchers also say they find a child's backpack in Livingston Dam. Then yesterday morning, authorities raising that reward for information to $10,000. And unfortunately, now we have learned that she was found in that body of water.
And as we mentioned, arrest warrants are being prepared.
Okay. So now we up to there, right? Now.
Angel Salve toilet paper is strong.
Tries to grieve the loss of her little girl.
Has released
Now let's go to the
Audrey
cause of death.
Cunningham's cause of death, saying that she died of homicidal violence. Fox 26's Dominic Keith is live in Polk County with this update. Dominic.
Yeah, mourners are covering this community in a sea of purple, 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham's favorite color, particularly here at the Trinity River, where the 11-year-old's body was found in the water on Tuesday. And we now know, according to the Harris County ME, little Audrey died of homicidal violence, including blunt head trauma.
I knew it.
I'm truly blessed to have given birth to such an...
I knew it. Let me stop for a minute. I said she's either died from blood force trauma or suffocation. Now, I looked up homicidal violence. It says described as one of the worst offense in society. Occurs when a person causes injury to another person resulting in unalive, which means fixated, drive-by pot shooting, spousal homicide, jealousy, paranoia, multiple murders are classified as mass murder, spree murder, as serial murder. Wow.
An amazing little girl.
Even as 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham's mom tries to grieve the loss of her little girl, we caught up with her at this sunset candlelight vigil.
You know, hopefully with all of our candles together, it'll be bright enough, maybe she can see it.
It clearly isn't easy to understand how a little girl could be taken away so tragically. According to the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office, the 11-year-old died of homicidal violence, including blunt head trauma, and the manner of death is homicide.
Her life was cut short way too soon, but the way in which we lost her.
Audrey Superintendent Dr. Brent Hawkins says there have been a lot of tears and hugs in the hallways here at Creekside Elementary, where Audrey was in 5th grade. In fact, she's been here since kindergarten. So Livingston ISD has now formed a scholarship in Audrey's name and honor.
With a kid like Audrey, we feel like that school was her safe place, and she loved school so that it's very befitting that we would have a scholarship that would live on and help other students in their education.
Little Audrey was reported missing last week Thursday after investigators say a family friend, Don Stephen McDougal, was supposed to take her to the school bus stop but never did. Take a look at this screenshot. A woman who used to be McDougal's neighbor reported this to police, saying it was late Wednesday when McDougal asked if she wanted to buy his SUV. Detectives say it's the same vehicle certain evidence was seen in before it was found at the crime scene. McDougal is now charged with Audrey's murder.
This isn't Mayberry anymore. And so we have to change the way we think about protecting children in today's world.
What's A, Dr.
Livingston
RBH?
ISD has counselors on hand available for students and staff. And by the way, the district's Audrey Cunningham scholarship, the amount of it will be contingent upon donations. No doubt they're going to receive a whole lot. Reporting live in Polk County, I'm Damalie Keith.
He
Fox
did.
26 News.
He did it. He did it. And he probably suffocated her and hit her in the head with something. She's a beautiful little girl, isn't she? Thank you, Katie. Let's look at the visual.
It's touched us all. I mean, what could you do? What if this was your baby?
Right.
Tonight, the Livingston community is mourning the death of fifth grader Audrey Cunningham, who disappeared nearly 1 week ago, and divers found her body in the Trinity River yesterday as a family friend has been charged with capital murder.
The community gathered tonight for a vigil to remember Audrey. KPRC2's Bryce Newberry is along Highway 59 tonight, where there's a growing memorial. Bryce?
For sure.
Daniela and Keith, this is where
sure.
divers recovered Audrey Cunningham's body yesterday. Tonight you can see balloons, flowers, and teddy bears lining the Trinity Riverbank. Those who loved Audrey and some who never met her have showed up here to pay tribute, all of them grieving her innocent life cut short.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven?
Tonight is just to remember Audrey.
With purple balloons and flickering candles, the small town of Livingston is holding each other a little tighter, shocked and saddened by the sudden murder of 11-year-old Audrey Cunningham.
I am beyond blessed to be able to give birth to something that she was perfection.
Audrey's mother, Cassie Matthews, barely held back tears as she invited the community to light their candles in her daughter's honor.
Hopefully with all of our candles together, it'll be bright enough, maybe she can see it.
Divers pulled Audrey's remains from the Trinity River Tuesday. The little girl, known to always make a friend and light up a room with her smile, had been missing since last Thursday after failing to get on the bus that morning. Her father's friend and the last person who saw her, 42-year-old Don Stephen McDougal, is now charged with capital murder. Court documents claim investigators found her body tied to a large rock in the river using rope they had seen in his Suburban.
I had to sit down and explain to my 6-year-old and my 10-year-old that she's no longer with us. And I had to explain, she's in heaven. How do you tell them that they're not going to see their friend no more?
The days-long search for Audrey involved volunteers, local, state, and federal law enforcement. It left the community on edge, the outcome leaving a void felt by everyone.
We will not have her walking through our doors anymore, but instead having her walk beside us in faith.
Everybody just remember the good times and know that she's up there looking down on us.
And the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office will determine exactly how little Audrey died. Tonight, the suspect in her murder is being held in the Polk County Jail without bond. We're live along the Trinity River tonight. I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
Tell me about your new neighbors. They're black.
Just something real strange about her, you know?
There she is,
Now,
slaving away in the
this monster has a record. Okay? A record. And let me just show y'all. Hold on. Where's that picture of his record? Oh, I see it. I see it down there somewhere. There we go. Well, well, well. Look at that.
A family friend named as a suspect in the disappearance of Audrey Cunningham is now charged with capital murder. In just the last 10 minutes, we have learned Don Stephen McDougal went before a judge and is being held on no
Check this
bond.
out.
This after Audrey's body was found yesterday. Ugochi Iloka joins us from the Polk County Jail with the latest on this investigation. And Ugochi, obviously this is not the news the community was pulling for.
As an autopsy on Audrey Cunningham awaits to be conducted at the Harris County Medical Examiner's Office to figure out how she died, the man investigators say allegedly killed her is waiting behind bars for a capital murder bond hearing. This is the latest mugshot taken of 42-year-old Don McDougal on the 17th after he was arrested Friday for an unrelated aggravated assault charge. Audrey went missing last Thursday when she never made it to the school bus stop. Authorities say Audrey's backpack was found near the Trinity River Dam the very next day. McDougal, who investigators say lived in a trailer home behind Audrey's house, was a family friend who would drop her off at school or at the bus stop. He admitted to law enforcement he left the family home with Audrey 6 days ago. Conversations with McDougal and evidence collected through cell phone analysis, investigators say helped them locate the 11-year-old's body at Trinity River under U.S. Highway 59. The community, including family, mourned her death at a vigil last night. This week, staff at the Livingston ISD Elementary School Audrey attended are wearing purple in support of her. There's a memorial planned for tonight at 6 p.m. where people are encouraged to wear different shades of purple, like the colors you see I have on now, in honor
That was
of
her
Audrey.
favorite color.
Reporting in Livingston,
That's not
Ugochi
what-
Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
No.
To be free and flexible and creative was really essential.
And that's not what I wanted to show y'all something else. This man has a case, a history, mugshots galore. Galore. Look at that. That's all him, y'all. All him. Let's see here. 2004. 2002. Wait, let's go back. 2009, 2006, 2010, 2014, 2024, 2024, 2020, 2019, 2014, and I can't see that little one in the corner, which would probably be 2005, because that one's 2006 and that one's 2000. So, yeah. Yeah, girl. Look at that. But that's who they let in society around our babies, our schools. Our supermarkets too, our swimming pools. When the summer comes, you know, these kids like to go swimming. And he got that hate symbol tattoo. But this is who they let in society around our babies, around our daycare centers, around our public schools, around our other schools, around our where we live at. This is what they do. They let these monsters back out because the prison system is so full. I did a live way back when they said, remember Katie? And I don't know if Kathy B is probably watching from behind, but when they first said they were going to let felony people, monsters like him, out of prison because their prisons were so packed, I was furious. That's when I was covering the Jelani Day case and I was new on here. Katie, do you remember about that when we did that live? That's when I covered the Lana Lanier case. That's when that whole thing came out. They was letting monsters. You remember? Okay. I know I'm not tripping. Yes. And I could pour that up too. We can pour that up. See, they let monsters out of prison because their prison system is so packed. So why don't they just let them out? Go ahead. You're released to go kill again and to go R again. Go ahead. You're released. Disgusting. Disgusting. Oh, we're not done yet. We're not even done. Don't go nowhere. Wait. Stay. Don't go, because we got more. We have a little girl named Harmony. Harmony. Like Harmony. Beautiful little Harmony. Whose father, Adam, the monster, no, we said that was too nice for him. Adam, the exorcism or something, who decided to beat his daughter to death. Every time she went to the bathroom on herself, he beat her. If she smiled, probably when he didn't like it, he beat her. Demonic monster. Thank you, Katie. The demonic monster. It makes you wonder why they take it before he killed this little. Hold on. Oh yeah, and they're saying another rumor about her, but I'm not gonna put it out there until it's fine, until it's for sure. Dr. RBA said it makes you wonder what he was thinking before he killed this little girl. What was going? Yeah, it's crazy, Dr. RBH. He's a freaking monster. He is a monster. Hold on, I gotta see. We are for Cody's voice. It's like with Cody's another baby. Yes. He was in jail for 17 months on abusive neglect. Then he gets charged with murder and concealment of a body and gets out on bond. Exactly. Perfect example. Exactly. Who's this? Phoebe Sue. Hey, Phoebe Sue. It's unbelievable what they let out of jail. Yes, baby, you right. The man who murdered my nephew 34 years ago was just let out in prison. Heartbreaking. What? I am so sorry. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna have to take a freeze for a second. What? He was just let out? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. If you would like, message me privately on Facebook and I would do a story on your nephew. If you would like that. And we could talk about that. I'm so sorry. In fact, this man murdered 2 boys and was whoa! And was still let out. 2 boys. So your nephew and 2 other boys? So 3? Or your nephew and another boy, 2 boys. Regardless, he murdered and he's out. Message me on privately on Facebook. Facebook Messenger. Message me privately on Facebook Messenger. I'm so sorry. That's insane. Wow. I don't even know what to say. Like, wow. I want to get their stories out. I know that. We got to get their stories. Well, if it's up to, if you would like, if it's okay, I would like to get your nephew's story out and then find the other 2 boys and get their story out. And then you could come up here and tell his story if you like. I'm so sorry. My God. You see what I'm saying? They letting them out. She just told y'all. They are letting these monsters out. This monster murdered her nephew and took another life and another life, and he's free to go. So he can do it again. God forbid. This is. And then they tell us to vote. Be careful who you vote for. I don't fucking vote for what? For what? The devil? Child, please. Jesus Christ. Now, Harmony. One day ago.
Sits along Route 107 in Saugus and runs through the city of Revere. It was the site of a heavy police search last spring and is once again being named as a high interest point in the search for Harmony Montgomery's remains.
Adam Montgomery was from the Revere area. He would know it very well.
Prosecutors say Adam Montgomery borrowed a U-Haul in the spring of 2020 to get rid of his daughter's body. That van was spotted on a toll camera on the Tobin Bridge in Boston.
And we know that he went through no New Hampshire tolls. So what that means is that she is somewhere along that route.
The 26-mile radius around the route from Manchester to Boston is about 1,500 square miles and will require significant resources to search, says law enforcement expert Richard Mello.
That will include cadaver-sniffing dogs that can smell the scent of human remains, radar and sonar that may look underground to see if there's any disturbances in the soil.
Mello says human remains, even years after death, can provide some answers.
If they're fortunate enough to be able to find her and bring her home, DNA technology will be a central part of any further investigation.
And so we reached out to the Attorney General's office to see if it received any new tips since it made this information public, but we were told there are no new updates to provide at this point. Reporting in Saugus, Massachusetts, I'm Tim Callery, WMUR News 9.
Cute little Harmony.
New Hampshire. Service. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. All rise for the jurors, please. Oh my word, you guys. Guilty on all counts. I'm so proud of this jury. Yes. Because this was a tough one to decide on. Not only because it's a no-body case and trial, sadly, but also because of all the criteria that they had to reach a unanimous verdict on. This is amazing. Guilty on all counts. Second-degree assault, second-degree murder, falsifying physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, and tampering with a witness. So, Adam, yeah, your little strategy didn't work. Crickets for Adam.
Did I miss
Can't
it?
wait to see him at sentencing. Let's hope the judge now with the verdict. I think that the two charges, which would be the ones he conceded the guilt to, right? The falsifying physical evidence and abuse of a corpse. I think those would have been fairly easy to come to a unanimous agreement with. But second-degree assault and second-degree murder, I think tampering with a witness could have also been easy. Second-degree assault and second-degree murder.
I agree.
I wonder what that's going to be. Okay. So we are here. We've made it together.
I'm late
And
on
we've
the
reached
verdict, y'all.
As you can see, shame. Here's Harmony's mother, Crystal. She looked very anxious a few moments ago, just like kind of like bouncing in her chair. I mean, imagine how she feels. Okay, so you guys are saying guilty AF, right? Let's see what happens.
We started the trial, and then I'm sorry, y'all.
I can't wait. Like, okay, let me put this up on the screen. And he's still not in the courtroom. Still crickets for Adam.
He never showed up.
I've been watching all day, and I'm like, still crickets?
That's crazy. Why would they allow that?
You want manual crickets for Adam? Oh, please let there be justice for Harmony.
Testimony or not.
Okay, there's Ben Agati. Oh my goodness. I rewatched that the closing statements. If you didn't see it yesterday, please watch the ones with the state's closing statements. They were absolutely brilliant, right? Okay.
It makes me sick too, Megan.
You guys are like guilty on all counts.
She should be abused with, with a corpse.
Wow, I can see.
Because she
helped. A lot of
him.
news channels are live right now. Yes. So thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be here with me as we watch this happen. Yes. So tell me what you guys. So you guys are saying. Barbara says after lunch. Right guess. Right. I was thinking it's either going to be after lunch today or tomorrow. I was actually, if I had to like really like say, okay, what I think, I thought they're going to reach their verdict tomorrow. Okay, let's do it like that. Okay. Let's just check. There we go. Now the chat is working. All right. Yeah, I can't believe he doesn't have to be here either. Adam Montgomery has not had to be here, and he doesn't have to be here for the verdict.
And that's crazy.
But he will have to very likely be there for sentencing, especially for victim impact statements, unless the judge excuses him. My goodness.
It's crazy.
So, Rochelle Heltzinger says, yes, praying for a guilty verdict and justice for beautiful Harmony. Thanks for the coverage, G. Thank you so much, everyone. And thanks for bearing with me. As you know, I moved country this week, so thank you for bearing with me with internet and lights and different sound and different locations. I really, really appreciate it. It's been a little
Yeah,
bit
you was moving the
challenging,
country
but we made
while
it
you
every
was doing
day,
it.
and
You
we
did really good.
continue to watch this trial together. Here we go. Still no Adam in the courtroom.
No.
Okay. Sound is boosted.
Ron, yeah, he's being. Did you call for them? Ron? For them? Yes. All rise for the jurors, please. All rise for the jurors, please.
Why did it echo? Thank you so much, Rob. Yes, justice for harmony.
You may be seated.
I'm nervous, you guys. Are you also nervous?
Would the foreperson please rise? Mr. Foreperson, it's the court's understanding that the jury has reached a verdict in this matter.
That's correct.
As to charge ID 1937947C, charging the defendant, Adam Montgomery, with the crime of second-degree assault, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That is correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Yes.
As to charge ID 2027112C, charging the defendant, Adam Montgomery, with the crime of second-degree murder, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Yes. And as to charge ID 2027113C, charging the defendant with the crime of falsifying physical evidence, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson?
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
This is amazing.
And on
you
charge
guys.
ID 2027114C, charging the defendant, Adam Montgomery, with the crime of abuse of corpse, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson.
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Yes. And on charge ID 2027115C, charging the defendant, Adam Montgomery, with the crime of tampering with witnesses and informants, do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You say that he's guilty, Mr. Foreperson.
That's correct.
So say you all, ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Yes. Thank you.
Bring it out for sentencing.
I want to thank you for your service. You've performed an important civic duty, and that is as to the alternates as well as all the deliberating jurors. What we're going to do now is I'm going to send you back into the deliberation room. The alternates are going to be able to go back now with you. You can discuss the case with each other. So is it an opportunity for you to do that? I'm going to take a few minutes with the lawyers here, and then I will come in to discuss a couple of other matters with you further, and then you'll be released from your service. All right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. All rise for the jury.
Shout out to Grizzy. We've been doing the case with Grizzy. So I'm so happy that the bastard was guilty with all charges. What I'm not happy as is the stepmother gets to wait to come home soon. I don't think that's, I mean, people are saying, well, they would have never found as much effort, as much as they known if it wasn't for her. But they should have hit her with something else. That's just my opinion. I feel like they should have hit her with some more time. At least give her 4 years, 6 years, at least. Give us 6 years, at least. This little girl is never coming back. Never. She'll never graduate school, have her first boyfriend, have older go to her prom, graduation, get her first car. She's never coming back. But she gets to come home on parole? Savannah Sotos. Her mother got arrested. Over bullshit. Not appearing for something.
Spectrum Business is made to work, just like your small business.
Oh, yeah. Okay, here we go. Savannah Sotos and her boyfriend was in a vehicle when they were shot by this monster, and he hit the body with his dada. She was 9 months pregnant. Matter of fact, a little overdue. She was supposed to give birth, but they took that away from her.
We're going to call CM 116056 and CM 116070.
What do they have to say?
This is both the state of Texas versus Ramon.
He's complaining.
Both sides are now starting with the state.
What the hell does he have to say?
Good afternoon again, Judge. John Kuntz and Megan Enriquez from Mr. Preciado.
And we are here on a referral from the 290th District Court. Mr. Preciado is seated in front of the courtroom. These are both motions to reduce bond filed by defense. So defense, go right ahead.
Thank you, Judge. We would call our client as a witness.
Come up here.
Mother goes to court to see this bastard try to get a bond, but mother goes to court because they killed her kid, and she gets arrested for not appearing in court for something. It's crazy.
The testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, sir, I do.
Just make sure to speak into that microphone and do not speak over the attorneys. Wait till the question is asked before you answer. The court reporter can only take one person speaking at a time.
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Defense, your witness.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Ramon.
Good evening.
Your name is Ramon Preciado,
Yes, sir,
and you're currently in jail on 2 charges. Is that correct?
that's correct.
And I'm going to read off some case numbers. I'm not asking you to know them necessarily, but I'm just going to read them off and tell you what they are. The first one
Exactly, Megan.
116070. It is charged as altering, destroying, or concealing a human corpse, and the bond on that one is $500,000. Does that sound right?
Yes, sir.
The other case you have is CM 116056, and that one is entitled Abuse of a Corpse, and the bond on that one is set at
Like Papa Smurf.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So you have two bonds that total up to $600,000. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You've been in jail for how long now?
Going on 42 days. Not sure exactly.
So did you say 42 days?
Going like 40.
6 or 7 weeks, maybe?
Yes, sir.
And you have not been able to make a bond at the amounts that they're set out right now, correct? Is that correct?
No, sir.
Do you have assets to sell on the outside that could get you enough money to make the bonds at $600,000?
No way, sir.
So let's talk about the properties or assets that you may or may not have available to you. Do you have a vehicle?
They took it. They took the car in as evidence, I guess you would say.
So you don't have access
No.
to a vehicle to sell, do you?
We have another truck. It's probably worth maybe 3,000 if we're lucky.
3,000?
Yeah. My wife probably thinks it's a little more, but no, the engine's kind of bad. Transmission's leaking and it's knocking. So, I know a lot about mechanics. It's probably not.
Like the engine is knocking?
Yes, sir.
Do you own land?
No, sir.
Do you own your own house?
It's actually my wife's house.
And there was some testimony by your wife the other day in terms of the house that you live in. Is that what you're referring to?
That is correct.
Is somehow a gift from her father to her and some other family members?
That is correct.
So her interest in the home is only 1/4 of the home?
Yes, sir. It's divided by 4.
Do you know roughly how much that house is worth?
No, not really.
Is it worth $1 million?
No way.
Is it worth $500,000?
No way.
Do you know how much equity there is in the home?
I couldn't say. Probably not much.
Not much equity.
No, I don't think anything would be worth.
In fact, your wife is paying on that house, is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
And you guys have been in it for how long now?
Between 9 and 11 years.
Has anyone in your family or friends tried to get bonds for you while you've been in custody?
No,
Is it because the amount is so high?
nobody has that kind of money.
Nobody in your family.
No, sir.
So let's keep talking about assets. Do you have gold bricks somewhere?
No, sir.
Do you have a large cash deposit somewhere?
No, sir.
Do you have a safe full of jewelry or cash or anything like that?
It's all in the pawn shop. Might have a couple of little pieces later on here or there, but maybe $300 for them. They're mostly sentimental value. You know what I mean?
You said about $300 worth in a pawn shop?
No, in the pawn shop, there's the ones I've been pawning them since the end of summer. Things got rough for us, so we've been pawning them. So they're all in the pawn shop.
Just so I'm clear, and it's a little hard to understand exactly what you're saying, but sit down, please.
Sorry.
That's okay. You have some things that you have pawned, is that correct?
Yes, they're all in the pawn shop. Yes, sir.
When times were tough for you economically last year, is that correct?
That is correct.
In the summer of 2023?
Yeah, they're still in there.
And it would cost you money to go get them, is that correct?
Yes, sir. A lot.
So you don't even have access to them right now, do you?
No, sir.
You have to raise money to get them out of the pawn shop, is that correct?
Most definitely.
Now, again, you don't have stocks or bonds or anything like that?
No, sir.
Do you have any other assets that you could sell reasonably quickly?
Tools, but again, digital gauges and stuff like that, they're not worth much. You might buy them for $600, $700, $800, but
Hey,
once you use them
Barbara.
3 or 4 times, they're all digital. They're not worth much. You'd be lucky if you could sell them for $10, $20. In our line of work, they get damaged real easy.
And your line of work is HVAC, right?
Contracting, yes, sir.
Well, that's not our problem, mister. You don't deserve bond. You deserve hell. How about that? You took 3 innocent lives and you got the nerve to try to get bond? No, your son did it actually. But you was a part of it too. You was a part too because you hit the bodies. You trying to get bond, Flintstone. Get your ass out of here.
Let's talk also, since you've been in jail, you had some medical issues, is that correct?
That's correct.
Let's start with a medical episode you had just a couple of days after getting arrested. What happened?
They were walking me into a room, and I had an episode, and I fell back, and I hit my head, and it bounced off the metal door, and I slammed my 300-pound body on the floor, and I bounced.
Sorry.
And a bunch of sheriffs were over there. One of them tried to get me up, and I kind of started seizing like this. Kind of stayed like that for like, I don't know, a few minutes, and I was gonna die. I tell you the truth, it kind of really scared me. And I got up, and I was breathing real hard, and they took me to see the doctor, and he said it was just an episode or my medicine, because they're not giving me my medicine the way they're supposed to exactly. So like I'm supposed to get it right before I eat or right after, and it's like you really need to take that medicine the way it's supposed to. If you go into a coma with sugar, you don't drop that, and I already had that. 7 times since I've been locked up, 7 times that my sugar, I'm sweating. This I know for a fact. I was sweating, couldn't breathe, and I even rang the guard. Real nice guy, but they're not doctors. I mean, they just made a.
Ramon, let me stop you for 1 minute. When you went into the jail, you already had some health conditions, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what health conditions do you suffer from?
I'm diabetic. I have high blood pressure, cholesterol. I have sometimes breathing problems.
Were you on medication for any of those conditions before you went into the jail?
Yes, sir.
Since you've been in the jail, have you been getting the medication in the correct dosages and at the right times?
No, sir. Sometimes they're 6 to 8 hours apart before I eat, and that just throws me everywhere. Like I feel dazed, nauseous, episodes. You know, I don't even know where I'm at sometimes. They're walking me somewhere. I don't know where I'm at.
Are you afraid that because of the substandard medical care you're getting that you might have further health problems?
It got a lot worse, that's for sure. I could tell you when I went to a specialist, my kidneys, they're giving me the same medicine they're giving me now, the metformin, and that's what was hurting me real bad then. And that's why I told them that where I'm at, I can't take the metformin. You're overdosing, you're over medicating me. You're gonna kill me. Because it's happened to me before. You're giving me 2,000 milligrams.
And our problem
medication is nowhere near that, and it's not metformin. Nowhere near that. 2,000 milligrams is a lot.
Okay, karma.
I'll knock you out
Exactly,
like that.
Katie.
And imagine taking it while eating.
Okay, Ramon. You have a doctor on the outside,
Yes, sir, Dr. Wynn.
and you actually even seen specialists, haven't you, in the past?
Yes, sir.
Were you having these kind of fluctuations up and down when you were on the outside before you were locked out?
No, sir. No, sir. God bless my wife. She really keeps a good schedule and keeps me on it. You know what I mean? Even though if I work, she'll call me and let me know.
Are you asking the judge to lower your bonds?
I'm actually begging him to lower the bonds.
And if the judge was kind enough to lower the bonds to an amount that you are able to get out, or your family or friends are able to get you out, will you comply with any and all conditions?
Yes, sir, I would.
You have a couple of different options for residences when you get out, is that correct?
That is correct.
One would be your old house.
That's correct.
The other, if that doesn't work out, the other would be with a relative.
That is correct.
Are you from San Antonio?
Yes, sir, all my life.
Is all your family here in San Antonio?
4 to 5 generations.
And the 2 residences that you have as options are both here in San Antonio?
Yes, sir, they are. My whole life is here. Not to mention I have a sick wife and a sick child in the Bexar County.
And our problem is, what are you supposed to do about that? Yeah, exactly. After he took, after he took a pregnant 9-month-old
maybe you guys
woman's
have,
life,
and I think she
shot
testified
her in the
about
head,
some
shot her boyfriend in the head.
Do you think
Barbara,
that that's
yeah,
correct?
No,
he's
so that's
definitely
probably
trying to get
negative.
out, bastard.
It's negative now?
Definitely.
So you don't even have that kind of cash available for a bond, is that right?
No, sir. It might have had influence, but we were paying bills. I mean, it is what it is. People have to eat. People have to pay bills.
Were you guys behind a couple of months on your mortgage at the time you all were arrested?
Going on 3 months, yes, sir.
Where were you when you got arrested?
At my house.
And do you remember what day it was that you got arrested?
Trying to look for something for y'all.
Not exactly, sir. No, sir.
It was in January, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. January.
And had you attempted to leave San Antonio in the few weeks that this investigation was ongoing?
No, sir. All I know is San Antonio. All my family's here.
Had you tried to get a passport?
No, sir.
Had you tried to book a flight to Greece?
No, sir.
Had you made any plans whatsoever to leave or abscond from San Antonio?
I have nowhere to go. My family's here.
We plead and implore him.
Ramon, you have, when you were younger in your 20s, you'd been in a little bit of trouble, correct?
That's correct.
And you had done, on the state side, you had done probation, is that correct?
That is correct.
And you had successfully completed those probations, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
On the federal side, about 24, 25 years ago, you were prosecuted as well.
That's correct.
And did you ever have any violations when you were on supervised release?
No, sir. She actually commended me on doing a very good job, always showing up on time, paying what I need to pay.
You never fled when you had those cases, did you?
No, sir.
You never tried to run, did you?
No, sir.
And you complied with all the terms that the judges asked you to comply with, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Do you have a job?
Yes, sir.
And it's in HVAC, or I'm sorry, you said contracting.
HVAC, you're correct.
Do you intend on going back to work if you can?
It's besides my wife and my child. It's my life. That's all I've ever known.
Judge, I'll pass the witness at this time.
State your witness.
Mr. Preciado, now, there's been some mention of your wife. Is that Mircha Romanos?
That's correct.
And how long have you guys been married?
She would tell you the exact date. I could tell you it's pretty close to 30 years. Not exactly married, but together 30 years. But yes, 30 years.
You guys are married?
Yes, sir, we are.
And what children do you have?
We have Christopher Ray Preciado.
That's your only child?
Judge, may we approach?
Certainly.
Christopher.
Do y'all have any microphones here in front of the bench? Just the one in front of the witness?
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars, wasting tons of time on troubleshooting with attendees? If so,
Okay, Mr. Preciado, so you were saying that Christopher is your only child with Vermont, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, but you have other children as well, correct?
That's correct.
How many other children?
Christopher's the one that did it, the one that shot
Two.
that girl.
Two other than Christopher?
Yes.
Okay, what are their ages?
So they say.
It's hard to remember when you get older. Hold on, give me a second. 30 and 28.
So they're adults.
Yes, sir. They have their own lives. Yes, sir.
Do they live here in San Antonio as well?
The whole family is in San Antonio.
And living with Mr. Romanos, you were living at the residence on Charlie Chan?
That's correct.
Okay, and that's what you're talking about, the house that you guys have. That's the residence you're talking about?
The house she has, yes, sir.
And did she inherit that house, or would you say it was a gift?
That's correct.
So it was inherited?
It was a gift. It's for them. She had to tell you the details. I don't get in her business like that.
And Mr. Romano, she has been unemployed for about 14 years, is that correct?
I would say it's about right. I'm not sure. Again, I don't keep up with that. I mean,
Well, does she work?
no, sir, she doesn't.
Okay. Has it been a long time since she's worked?
It's been a little bit, yes, sir.
So since you guys started living in this house, has she ever worked while y'all were living in that house?
She wasn't working before that.
So who was making the monthly mortgage payments on that house?
Her dad would help us.
And he passed away in 2019?
I believe that's correct. You would have to ask her.
Okay. Was he helping you up until that time?
Off and on, yes, sir.
So after that, who was helping make these mortgage payments?
You're looking at him, sir.
Because you're the breadwinner in the household.
Yes, sir. To the best of my knowledge.
Okay. And about how much is that mortgage payment a month?
It's hard to say because it changes. I think we started with 11. I think now it's up to 18 something.
And
So I cannot give you exact. I could tell you what's going for right about now.
okay, so somewhere between 1,100 and 1,800 in that neighborhood.
It's 18 right now, 1836 or something.
And you said you're about 3 months behind on it, to your knowledge.
Can give or take. I have been here almost 2 months, so you know.
Are you aware of any payments that are made towards the mortgage since you've been in the jail?
I think my sister might have tried to make one a payment or something.
And I know you said you weren't sure about the value of the home, but do you have an idea of how much equity you guys have in that house?
I have no idea.
And would surprise you to know that Mrs. Romanos believed it was about $100,000?
She probably would say something like that, but she doesn't know. She's just guessing. You probably put her on the spot. She probably just said some number. She has no idea. She doesn't keep up with that stuff. But if she said 100,000, she's very intelligent. She might have looked it up or something.
Because the house is in her name, so she's kind of the one who deals with that aspect of it.
That's correct.
And if Mr. Romano said that you guys had a vehicle that was worth $12,000, would she be talking about this truck with the mechanical issues that you mentioned earlier?
I think it's the truck that y'all took.
What's that?
The truck that y'all took for evidence.
That's the one you think is worth $12,000?
Give or take, it's of 2014 or 15. So, yes, I would say so.
But you think the other truck you guys own is worth about $3,000, I think is what you said.
Unless you put a new engine in and transmission, and you probably could pick it up. But at that point, you'll be, might as well get in a vehicle.
And how much do you think Christopher's vehicle was worth?
Christopher doesn't have a vehicle. They would just lend it. They lent it to him, and it was actually my sister's vehicle.
And that vehicle's been sold now?
I have no idea what's been. I've been in here, sir.
But you've been communicating with your family and speaking with them since your incarceration, right?
That's correct.
All right. You speak to your son and your sister pretty regularly, right?
To the most part.
And in fact, I mean, your family's been helping kind of liquidate the assets you guys have in the house, right?
I told him to move some of the personal items out. Yes, sir. The things that meant stuff to us, meaningful stuff. Not nothing expensive, but just stuff that means something to us. You know, you might have something that you have that you love as you're a child. It might not be worth nothing to anybody else, but it's worth something to us. You know what I'm trying to tell you?
No, I understand. I'm just trying to understand what efforts your family's been taking to sell things for you on your behalf.
Well, I want to say things is just a few little things. They haven't even sold anything yet. I think it's just little stuff they put away. So until the house doesn't get robbed, pretty much have an open target. So every day people are doing crazy stuff around. They're breaking windows and.
Oh, you are an open target. You damn right you are. Because of the shit that you and your son did. Do you blame people for doing shit? Are we supposed to feel sorry for this damn clown? Because I'm tired of hearing him talk. So basically, the shit is he is trying to get bond. He don't deserve bond. He deserves to sit his little fritty ass in jail. Bent over, buddy. Pick up soap. Okay? Or do these motherfucking laundry, do these men laundry in jail. Become somebody bitch. That's what you need to do. Moving on to the next. We got the last one is let me see if I can say her name correctly. LaCara Goldsmith. I was asked to do this case. Missing mother. Last seen November 28th, 2018. She's 21 years old. Height 5 feet, 5 inches. Brown eyes, brown hair, 150 pounds. Montgomery, PD. Montgomery, Albany. So this is in Albany. Alabama, I'm sorry. This is in Alabama, Montgomery. Let's get to it. Beautiful young girl, too. I must say myself.
New Hampshire. Lawyers in the chat, let me know. But we must hope that Adam would do that. I just think he.
While raising.
And that was the last time that my mom seen her. Like she disappeared after that.
I like watching.
My mom saw her that day across the street from where we live in the other apartment complex. And that was the last time that my mom seen her. Like she disappeared after that. Someone seen something. No one just go missing without anybody seeing something.
Oh, you heard
A
me,
20-year-old woman, known as the Facebook queen amongst her friends and family, gives them all great concern when her social media accounts go silent. Last seen in front of her own apartment building by a family member that she actually lived with, many are asking and wondering, where exactly did she go? It's time to turn on the searchlight for LaCara DeJour Goldsmith. to Wikipedia, it was named for Continental Army Major General Richard Montgomery. And as of the 2020 census, Montgomery's population was well over 200,000 people. That makes it the second most populous city in Alabama after Huntsville. In addition to housing many Alabama government agencies, Montgomery has a large military presence due to Maxwell Air Force Base, universities, and many cultural and art attractions. Downtown Montgomery lies along the southern bank of the Alabama River, about 6 miles downstream from the confluence of the Coosa and Tallapoosa rivers. Despite the government and military imprint on the city, there is also a much darker side to it. Back in 2009, Montgomery's crime rates were favorable compared to other large Alabamian cities such as Huntsville, Mobile, and Birmingham. However, crime rose in the 2010s and continued to rise into the 2020s, leading to a record high of over 320 shooting victims and over 77 homicide victims in 2021 alone. In 2022, Montgomery's violent crime rate was 514 occurrences for every 100,000 residents. LaKira Goldsmith grew up in the years that this violence began to grip the city. She was born to Marshall Goldsmith on July 24th, 1998. Known as Pig to her friends and family, LaKira would try to help anyone who needed it and was the type of young lady who would light up a room when she entered it. Even with her severe asthma, and when that would flare up, sometimes so badly that it required hospital visits, LaKira was always looking out for others. Marshall says that even when it was most difficult for her daughter to just breathe on her own, she just wouldn't let anything stop her from caring about other people. In 2018, LaKira was 20 years old and the mother of an adorable toddler named Armani. She was a doting mother who loved her son and her close-knit family very much. On November 27th, she was picked up at the apartment that she shared with her grandmother and son in the 4500 block of Narrow Lane Road. Her boyfriend was taking her for a night out. In the early morning hours of the 28th, LaKira's grandmother heard a car pull up outside of their complex, and she wondered if it was her granddaughter coming back from her big date night. So she headed to the window, and she saw that it was indeed LaKira. Her grandmother, being the caring woman that she is, scolded LaKira a bit, yelling at her from the window that she should have been wearing a coat. It was a cold night. She didn't see LaKira actually enter the building, but she went to bed knowing that her granddaughter was safe and home. The last time she actually saw her granddaughter, she was standing outside of the Red Lions apartment complex across the street. And somehow, LaKira would not make it back to the apartment just a short walk away that night. Could she have possibly been mistaken about the young woman that she saw and assumed that it was LaKira when it actually was someone else? Well, while we don't know exactly what time LaKira was dropped off, it seems that we do have another eyewitness that confirms she was indeed there that night. At 2 a.m., the maintenance worker for the Red Lions apartments found LaKira outside. She asked to borrow his cell phone, and he let her use it. To give her some privacy, he actually walked into the apartment building for a few minutes before returning outside. When he did, he found his phone sitting on the complex's steps, but LaKira was nowhere to be seen. Another important question is, why would LaKira, someone known as a Facebook queen who was always on social media, not have a phone of her own?
Right.
Did she have her phone but want to place a call or send a message from a different number? Did she leave her phone somewhere and she was trying to call it to see if someone would answer and tell her where it was? We don't know. The next morning, when her grandmother awoke, she found that LaKira was not at home. Now, it wasn't completely uncommon for LaKira to disappear from time to time, but she was always easily found by her friends or her family. They would simply message her. When her grandmother took a look at LaKira's social media, she saw that all communication had just stopped the night before. As the family became more and more concerned, Marshall, her mother, tried searching. She went to one of LaKira's friends' homes that she was known to stay at. It was only a few miles away, and she started asking around there. According to WAKA.com, Marshall believes that LaKira may have been in the Newtown neighborhood, based on reports from people who say that they think that they saw her there that day. So Marshall drove from the Newtown neighborhood where Lakira's friend lived back to Narrow Lane Road, looking but still not finding any signs of her. The next day, on November 29th, Lakira was reported missing. Marshall would tell the press, when she went missing, I called Montgomery police. They came and did a missing person report, and basically, that was it. Marshall said that she didn't feel as if she was taken seriously, and it had been suggested by the police that Lakira had just taken off.
Come on now.
Everyone in her circle of friends and family agreed, though, Lakira would never run off, and she certainly would never leave her son. It quickly became apparent to her family that they would get little to no help in their search, so they took matters into their own hands. While friends and family searched on foot, Marshall tried to get as much media attention for her daughter's case as possible. She also took to social media and created the Finding Lakira Pig Goldsmith group on Facebook. Even today, she posts just about every day, not only about Lakira's case, but featuring other missing persons as well.
Wow.
Lakira's younger sister, Michaela Blackwell, also posts about her love for her sister and how the pain is affecting their mother. She even said that she would give her own life in exchange for Lakira's. She posted a song referencing Armani's pain. Quote, he has to live his life without his mom, she sang on the video, which gained thousands of views, and it helped raise more exposure to Lakira's case. Exposure that was seemingly lacking from a source that can really help in all types of missing persons cases. WTKR.com reported that according to the study, Missing White Woman Syndrome, an empirical analysis of race and gender disparities in online news coverage of missing persons, Black people were significantly underrepresented in the population of missing persons who received coverage, even though missing people of color make up nearly 40% of all missing persons cases. The analysis also found white women were overrepresented in news coverage, accounting for more than half of missing persons coverage when they make up only 30% of actual missing persons cases. Quote, if Black people go missing at double their occurrence in the actual population, which happens to be the case, there should be double the stories. But in fact, it's the opposite, said Kyle Pope, the editor-in-chief and publisher of the Columbia Journalism Review. Thankfully, this is an issue that has been spoken about much more often in recent years. And while it took almost a year, finally, local news outlets did start to feature Lakira's case and speak to Marshall. She told them about how law enforcement's efforts have stayed pretty much the same. And when they were directly asked for any update on the case, the department has declined to comment, saying the investigation was ongoing. It makes you wonder if they're still holding on to that initial assumption that for some reason she just ran off and left it all behind. Marshall feels that race, age, and background have indeed played a role in the investigation into her daughter's disappearance. Quote, when it comes to white people or college students, they put in effort to get search teams to look for them. But where's Lakira's search team? It's not fair to my daughter. She's a missing person too. They should take every case seriously and put in the effort to find these people, she said. The search for Lakira has led her family along Birmingham Highway, Highway 80 near Hope Hull, and back to Newtown again. It's real frustrating, but I have to follow all the leads, and I give them all to the police because you never know. There could be some truth in one of them, Marshall would tell the press. Lakira's family still pushes forward and continues to search for her. A press conference was held by them on the state capitol steps on March 7th, 2020, in the hopes of not only raising awareness to her case, but maybe putting a little pressure on those responsible for doing work into the investigation. The family asked for more resources in the search for Lakira, and they renewed their plea for any information that could help with finding her. Marshall says that there have been no recent new leads or updates on her daughter's case. Quote, wow. It's been a nightmare. I can barely think. I can't even imagine. And it's just hard for me day to day, getting out of bed and just going on with my day. Many times she has felt as though she was the only person fighting to find her daughter. Understanding this case has a lot of challenges. First of all, there are numerous conflicting reports. While it seems the maintenance man story is the most cited, there are other versions where she was last seen actually speaking to a friend or even her boyfriend outside of the complex. With law enforcement not really talking or taking the opportunity to capitalize on the media that is now being generated on this case, we really have no insight into the possibilities that her boyfriend has been investigated, or maybe he's been ruled out. We just don't know. It seems to me that omitting that information from the public understanding is kind of unfair to both sides. To people close to Lakira, they likely know who this guy is, and they might be casting suspicions in his direction. On the flip side, if there is an investigation looking into that direction, law enforcement hasn't released enough information to enable the public to know what might be helpful in terms of tips that should be called in. The same kind of goes for the maintenance man. Has he been ruled out? Has his phone been checked to see how Lakira last used it? Has her phone been traced? These are all questions unanswered. And that, in a way, also contributes to the perspective that law enforcement might not be doing everything in their power to help find Lakira, which may not actually be true. The type of complex that Lakira disappeared from presents its own set of problems. This area is known to be very run down, with many of the apartments not actually being rented, but not necessarily empty. Several complexes in this area are essentially a breeding ground for criminal activity, bringing people into the equation that might have no documentation or tracing to tie them to these locations. It's reported that the city council has tried to address this, but they're met with one roadblock after another. By the time that they're able to find the owner of one of these complexes in question to try to hold them accountable for the property's condition, the complex will be sold to someone else. So the whole search process has to be started all over again, creating this never-ending cycle of chasing down responsibility and delays in trying to actually clear these complexes out. This is a case where a crime of opportunity is also a very strong possibility. And Marshall does firmly believe that someone saw something happen to her daughter. She's asked for the public's help, but not just in the neighborhood that Lakira disappeared in, but she's asking for help from all over the country.
Wow.
Quote, I find myself questioning God every day, asking, why me? Why my child? It's so hard to keep the faith when someone that you love so much can just get snatched away from you and you don't know what's going on. I need people to help me. Every day, she searches for Lakira while raising her other two children and Lakira's son, Armani. Lakira Goldsmith, who goes by the nickname Pig, stands at 5'5" tall and weighs between 140 and 180 pounds. Her eyes are brown and her hair is black. But at the time of her disappearance, she was wearing blonde hair extensions with black roots. She was also seen wearing a black velvet knee-length dress, a silver rhinestone choker necklace, silver rhinestone earrings, and a silver lip ring. She has a snake eye tongue piercing as well. Lakira suffers from asthma, and she needs medication for it, medication which was left behind.
And let me just say, right, this right here is a cold case, because this case happened in, hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Let me just 2000, I want to say 2018, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let me see. If I'm not mistaken, I believe this is a cold case, because he just sent this to me and I was like, oh wow, this is a cold case. "2018, y'all. November 28th. She's 21 years old. So yeah, this is years back.
He's been hospitalized multiple times for severe asthma attacks. Please share this video with friends and acquaintances in Alabama and the surrounding states to help us raise awareness to this case. If you want to support the family, there is a link below for their GoFundMe, which states that funds will go to a reward regarding information in Lakira's disappearance, lawyer fees, possibly a private investigator, and of course, Lakira's son Armani. On behalf of
Yeah,
our
'cause she
amazing
has a little
supporters and
boy.
myself, we have already made a donation there. If you would like to join, please click that link below. There's also another link you'll see below to a petition asking the governor of Alabama for more assistance on Lakira's case. And of course,
Oh,
if
that's
you have any information, please contact the Montgomery Police Department at 334-625-2810. If you need to remain anonymous for any reason, you can also call Central Alabama Crime Stoppers at 334-215-STOP. That's 334-215-7867. Since 2015, we have always run limited commercial ads for the benefit of the viewers and the families that we're trying to help. Obviously, we can't do that without support. A big thank you to new patrons Tabitha Tyndall and Sandy Shirley. If you'd like to help us, please visit lordnarts.com. There you can sign up for Patreon, sign up for PayPal, buy merchandise, or even just buy us a coffee like Candy Bishop recently did. We really appreciate your support on our mission to run as few ads as possible while we try to help as many cases as we can. Thank you to WSFA.com, MontgomeryAdvisor.com, The Charlie Project, NamUs, OriginalNewsBreak.com, Investigation Discovery, Medium.com, WAKA, WTKR, Wikipedia, and WeScripts.brightspotcdn.com for information contributing to today's story. Also, a very big thank you to everyone that is supporting Marshall, Armani, and Lakira's family during this very tough time. Let's all keep our eyes, ears, and hearts open and looking for Lakira Goldsmith.
Amen. I agree. I know, right, Barbara? Oh. Sad. Barbara said, wow, I feel so blessed Timmy was found. I would be praying for this family because a lot are not found. A lot of cases, they're unsolved. They're not found. Wow. He did a really good job on that. I like watching him. And please go check his link and stuff out. I put it down below. You know, anytime I show somebody stuff, I'm going to shout them out, put their link down below, show them love so y'all can go check their channel out. I always do that. Always. I know some people don't do that. They don't like to, they show people's content and they don't like to support them and show them love. That's weird to me, but I don't know. But anyway, with that, tomorrow at 7 o'clock, I will be interviewing Miss Barbara Hoare for the second interview on part 2 for her son, Timmy Dees. So please come and support her and her son because Timmy is not here to talk for himself, to tell how his friends betrayed him, the police betrayed him. He can't because they took his life. So his mother is his voice. She would be speaking for him again. We would be hearing a few videos from another content creator. I think it's an investigator that Miss Barbara is working with. Well, I would be playing those audios, which she does an amazing job. And I really want you guys to listen to it. So please, please, please. Please come and show support. You guys rocked the first time when she was here. You showed her support. You guys always show every family that I bring up here support. Show support again tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Yes, you agree with that, right? You know, yeah. When you bring in somebody's content, show them support. You know, some people don't like that. One person told me, I was told not to show the person support. Girl, what? You gotta show them support. you get support back. You know what I'm saying? It's about showing, sharing, and loving, right? And with that, everyone, have a blessed night. Good night, everybody. Yeah, this one really touched you, right, Barbara? I could tell. You could tell the ones that Barbara be really feeling, boy. Because she be like, I'm putting this on my group. Yeah, Barbara. Thank you, Barbara. All right, y'all. Good night, everybody. This ulcer or whatever I got is really kicking my behind. Every time I move or something like that, ugh, this shit ain't no joke. Not an ulcer. What is it again? Hernia. This damn hernia. That's why I wasn't on here yesterday, y'all. Yeah, I slept the whole day from day to night. That's how you know when I don't feel good is when I sleep all day long. Yeah, that's when you know. But I did call for a surgeon and I gotta go Tuesday. So I don't know if they're gonna do it Tuesday, but I gotta see a surgeon Tuesday. So just keep me in positive prayer. Yeah, I slept from day to night, Yeah. That's why I didn't see your thing until when I messaged you and said I was sleeping. That's why I didn't see it. Somebody else called me. I didn't see it. I was sleeping. I didn't message it till this morning. Yeah, I was knocked out, girl. Out. That's when you know I don't feel good. I called the doctor. What, last night? Yeah. I wasn't playing. Yeah, sure did. They put me up for Tuesday. Tuesday evening, of course. But Dave would take me when he comes home from work, so. Because it was really, really bothering me yesterday. I had the thumbnail to go live and everything. I went on somebody else's live because she's a new content for she's a new she has her new YouTube channel. I helped her out with a few things. We was ready to go on her live and her internet wasn't working. And then I said, well, I'm gonna go on my live then. And this hernia was painful. Painful. I took the laptop, put it down. Yo, it was kicking my butt. It was kicking. Ain't no joke. It's making me nauseous. And what happened, I think, and my doctor said it too, is because of the stab wound when I got stabbed when I was pregnant 20 years ago. It's shooting through. Finally broke through. I can show you my stab wound. Yeah. So that's my stab, and they cut me that down. I had 39, 38 staples. I didn't know I was pregnant. I was 17, 18. Had just got to Connecticut. Don't ask me who cut me. Didn't know the person. I was walking down the street. It's a long story. I was walking down the street to give a letter to somebody. The girl was like, get this person a letter. Next thing you know, some big black guy out of nowhere came and then screaming at me, get off my block, bitch, get off my block. I went to walk the other way, went back in the house. The girl that I was with that day, because I was homeless, she wanted to open the door for the big black guy that probably had a gun. I think it was a subtle. I don't know. It was weird. It was really weird. It was really, really weird. And she's the one that cut me. And I didn't know her. Like, it's such a long story. I'll do one of my story times and I'll tell you about that. But I'm starting to get nauseous right now. And this hernia is kicking my ass. So I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow, 7 o'clock. Barbara, I will see you tomorrow, babe. Peace out. I'll do a story time again. Good night, everybody. Yeah, it is crazy, you know. It is. He was big, black. He looked like Debo from Friday. It was crazy. All right, y'all. Good night, y'all. Barbara late. She talking about, oh my God, who did that to you? I can't. Barbara or late, y'all. Good night, y'all. I see you tomorrow, Barbara. Take your behind to sleep. Oh my God. I'll work on that stuff tomorrow, Barbara, what you sent me. All right. Bye. Good night, y'all.